If I bleed tonight, if I am sad tonight, I don't have a job to find. And if I work tonight, if I'm so tired tonight, I'll fall asleep when I'm home, when I'm home. I was just so far from here, focused on my own way, with never looking back to this world of fear. There was nothing I could do, there was nothing you said that could make me realize how much lucky I was. Just out of reach of the fire, was not aware of the nightmare, but when I stopped to see through that blinking fire.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is Monday. It is 7 p.m. It is time for the locker room breakdown as we get ready to go and watch the Raw Patrol. I am OMD, joined as always by my partner in crime, Bubba Duke. How we doing today, brother?
Dude, I am awesome. I'm pumped for tonight, man. I am pumped.
Yes. For those that don't know, we are starting at our normal time, although Raw did start live early tonight.
6 p.m.
At 6, but you know what? We've avoided spoilers, so we will have to wait and see what happens.
Yeah, dude, I stayed away from the internet. I haven't looked at my phone other than text messages with you guys.
Believe it or not, I've been scrolling all day and I hadn't come across it.
Well, you're lucky. My luck is I would. So I was
Right.
just, nope, I ain't doing it. It ain't happening. I'm not ruining Raw for myself tonight.
Right? So I know we, since it's you and I running the Raw Patrol tonight as well,
Right?
we may as well get right into it because we do have to be out of here a few minutes early tonight, ladies and gentlemen. But last week, we had the go-home show from Raw leading into Night of Champions this past Saturday.
Yeah.
For what was a decent PLE, I still haven't seen all of it. But last week, we started off, we had Braun Breaker defeating Penta.
Yeah. Like that was Penta's first official loss since coming to the roster.
No.
Like being pinned? He hasn't. Okay. I thought this was the first time he's been pinned. But either way, it sucks. But I get they're trying to make Braun Breaker and his group this giant entity right now. So it is what it is.
It is. I mean, this was a fantastic match, and what a way to really open Raw. Yes, you had the Seth Rollins promo before that,
Yeah.
but this was a fantastic, hard-hitting match, no matter what way you cut it. And only Paul Heyman stayed at ringside for Braun Breaker. Seth Rollins and Bronson Reed went to the back.
Which I think is a class act move. We don't need to be there for that guy. He can handle this all on his own. We don't need to be here, so we're going to go backstage.
Yeah. I think part of it had to do with Seth going back. I can't remember if Paul kept the Money in the Bank briefcase with him
He did.
or if Seth had it and then just wanted the extra protection in the back from Bronson Reed.
No, Paul Heyman had the briefcase the entire time, which I think was a strategic move so that if Seth did come out, it was already out there. He didn't have to carry it with him. You didn't have to. And if you notice, Seth is doing very much the opposite of what everybody else has done with that briefcase. He won it, and I haven't seen him physically carry it to the ring other than like one time.
Right. Yes, he's carried it the first time to the top of the entrance ramp.
Yeah.
That was really it. To be noted, though, he did bring it into the ring this past Saturday at Night of Champions.
Yeah. Just real quick, throw that up there for you. Good evening, guys.
Good evening, Mr. Best. Hope you're feeling much better today, brother. We
Yeah.
did see your message, see your report, so
We
we
got
are
you.
hoping you get well very, very soon. Um, Up next, the match I was really a little bit disappointed in.
Okay, what match?
And yes, it is because my girl lost in the Queen of the Ring semifinal as Jade Cargill defeated Roxanne Perez to go on to the
Yeah.
Queen of the Ring final. I mean, again, a great match. Jade has really shown her strides and her improvement since coming to WWE from AEW.
Yeah, I mean, her coming from AEW to WWE, she's improved leaps and bounds because they really didn't. I feel, and this again, my personal opinion, I don't feel that they gave her the proper attention to get her ready for in-ring performances.
Well, the problem is that Jade went into AEW not having any in-ring experience.
That's what I'm saying. They didn't help her to get some before putting her on
So-
national TV.
So you're booking her as this powerhouse because, I mean, let's face it, she is
she's
shredded.
yeah.
She is jacked. She is a powerhouse. And we can't deny that even from there, but she became, as I like to refer to it, the female Goldberg.
She did. You are not. Yeah, that's basically not cutting any corners or any BS because she was the legit female version of Goldberg. Had zero in-ring experience, but we're going to throw you to the wolves, and you have to maintain this character of you're better than everybody.
You know what? Her character was actually fantastic. I loved her character. I loved the way she went from having Stokely Hathaway to then Smart Mark Sterling, building up that dominant streak. And then all of a sudden, she dominates a championship match at a pay-per-view. And I mean, won it in under probably 30 seconds to call out somebody else who then beat her in less than 5 minutes.
Yeah, that was
So that she could disappear, come back, get her rematch 6 months later, and then sign with WWE.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. She's here now. She is getting the tools are being handed to her to become a better professional wrestler, not just a sideshow as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
But she did win this match. Now, do you want to say how things went at the pay-per-view, or you want to wait till...
We can discuss that after, because we do know that she did face Asuka at Night of Champions for the Queen of the Ring. I haven't actually seen that match yet.
I did.
Up next,
Yes.
we actually had a sit-down interview. Michael Cole with Goldberg, and I know this is something that you and I are not huge fans of, is Goldberg coming back, getting this title match at Saturday night's main event.
No. I don't. For the idea of Goldberg having a last match. Yes. I'm for the idea of Goldberg being back in the WWE, but you should have built this a little differently. Maybe had him come back early and just kind of smack talk a little more against whoever the champion is.
Right.
It just seems like he literally, once again, who's next? Oh, well, it's you. I'm picking you because you have a title, and there's no story involved. It's just literally, I want you because you have a title.
Right. And I mean, we do know that this goes back actually to last October at Bad Blood in Atlanta, where
They
Gunther
should have kept it going.
Yeah, but Goldberg was dealing with injuries, rehabs, and surgeries.
So the old guy was trying to get back into ring shape.
Yeah.
Oh my god. See, even then he could have been talking smack. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but then we as fans and the other people out there on the internet whining community would have said, well, why aren't we seeing Goldberg make appearances to talk smack? Why are we only hearing about this on social media and this?
It could have been on a video even. Hey, dude, I might be in the hospital right now, but when I get better, I'm coming after you. That kind of thing.
I'm going to be honest. I think my better opponent for Goldberg would have been Braun Breaker.
See, yes and no. Because, yes, I get there's a history there between Goldberg and his old man. Like, they used to beat the snot out of each other back in the day. But then to have his kid come in and beat the snot out of the old guy, and that's not really fair to Goldberg at all.
I'm not expecting a whole lot at Saturday night's main event out of Gunther and Goldberg. I know that there are people saying, you know, do you think that – who else do you think can pull 30 minutes out of Goldberg? Nobody.
No,
at least with Braun Breaker, it's explosivity versus explosivity, spear versus spear, and you can do that in a quick squash, and it's Goldberg handing the mantle off to Braun.
Could you imagine if Braun Breaker beats Goldberg with the jackknife powerbomb kind of thing, and like whatever, and just takes that move from Goldberg and says, "You're retired, old man. Get out of my ring, and I got your moveset's mine now." And he starts using that stuff nowadays. Could you imagine how epic that would be?
That would be fantastic. I love that idea.
Okay, you sold me on having Braun Breaker now, because I just thought about that. Like,
I mean,
Breaker
and I
do that.
Go ahead. I've seen interviews with Goldberg where he says, you know, I've known Braun Breaker since he was a little kid.
Yeah.
Because I used to travel the roads with Rick and Scott.
Yeah, yeah.
So who better?
So it's like Uncle Goldberg, I'm going in there to beat your butt now because you're just an old man and need to get out of my ring.
Yeah.
Could you imagine, though? Because Braun Breaker would pull that whole villain thing off really well. Like, to turn on Goldberg to be a heel. Because he's a heel now. But, I mean, to turn on someone that he's grown up with.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's called him Uncle Goldberg, or you know what I mean? Like Uncle Bill.
Yeah.
To have him just go, you know what, old man, get out of my ring. It's my time. You had yours. Go away.
Yeah.
I could buy that storyline better than this Goldberg versus Gunther storyline. Right. I think it's only because Gunther has a title.
To a point, I can understand where you're coming from. I don't think it's because he has the belt. I think that either way, whether Gunther had retained the title or not, I mean, we're getting the whining anyways, and we're complaining about it because it's a title match. I think either way, you're going to get Gunther and Goldberg.
Yeah.
But at least Gunther can stretch that out to 10 or 12 minutes by slapping him around and moving with pace.
And that's the thing too, right? Gunther knows how to slow down the match. Where I think Braun Breaker's more of we expect him to be very fast, very explosive, and just boom, 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 and done.
Yeah.
Where Gunther can slow things down to the old man's pace and say, hey, dude, you good? You need to catch your wind? Okay, cool. Slap me around a little bit now. I'll let you, light me up a little. And then we'll do the next, they can do that pace. I mean, either way, it's going to be an embarrassing match for Goldberg, and hopefully it's his last one. I know in the interview he was asked, well, what if you win the title? What if?
Right.
And he's like, well, then somebody else will be next.
Yeah. Yeah. His exact words were, that's an interesting dilemma. I think in all honesty, we know that it's his retirement match. And I'm going to say this, based on the legacy he created in WCW.
Yes.
I'm going to go out so far as to say he's not going out on his back. He will win the match, but he will not win the title.
Yeah, we discussed this the night that we found out.
And I am going to say this. And again, I'm going to bring Braun Breaker into this equation.
Okay.
Seth is going to come down to cash in. Braun is going to dismantle him, hit him with that spear,
Okay.
creating the disqualification. But you're not going to get the successful cash in. It's going to be the show up, the disqualification, and Gunther will probably hightail it.
He'll grab his title and run.
So Goldberg will get the win via DQ.
Okay.
That's how he goes out.
Okay. Interesting. Okay, what's next?
Up next, we had Becky Lynch defending the Women's Intercontinental Championship match against a returning Bayley.
Yep.
In what was, again, just a master class of women's wrestling.
Yeah, dude. Right? Like, these women put on a clinic as to why the women's professional wrestling has been, bar none, some of the best wrestling I've watched in the last while. Like, they have been opening the show a lot lately, and they're setting that bar so high that these guys, I bet you, are thinking, oh crap, we need to get our heads out of our butts and pay attention.
Right?
Like, it's getting crazy. Again, though, we had Lyra Valkyria interrupt this match, though. And I think she was trying to help Bayley, but it ended up backfiring.
Yes.
So how do you feel about this? I don't want to call it a love triangle over this belt, but it basically is.
Right.
So how do we see this going?
Personally, I am all for it because now it is putting that bigger spotlight on the Women's Intercontinental Championship.
Okay, yeah.
Lyra was a fantastic champion until Becky came along. Becky immediately put that spotlight on it. Now you've got, as you called it, this love triangle around this belt.
Right.
It's brought a new edge out of Lyra.
Yeah, dude, she's way different character now than when she first got this title to now.
Yeah.
Different woman altogether. She, I feel, understands where this title should be held.
Right.
As far as like the men's intercontinental title. She's trying to put that prestige to it. That it's the working title for the women, and it has as much meaning to us as the heavyweight title does, or the women's title, or you know what I mean? Like, and then you got, let's add Becky Lynch into that. One of the greatest female wrestlers and babyface. Now she's a heel, and she's great as a heel too.
She is.
And then we add the wonderful Bayley, who is like, she wants to be the mentor to everybody. She wants to help everybody. But then her friend has screwed her out of this title. So now, like you said, like I said, we got that love triangle of these three women that all they want to do is take this title and raise it.
Right.
But they're impeding each other by getting in each other's way, which just, again, adds another layer to this title, to this whole rivalry between these three women. I can't wait to see where it goes from this moment
Right.
that we had.
Yeah, we're getting the Lyra Valkyria, who at first was happy to be the champion.
Yes.
But there was no real marquee attraction to it.
No.
She built that up. And I'm not going to deny that. She built that up.
100%. I agree.
And then Becky coming in and doing what she did with WrestleMania on the night after. Now you've got...
Go ahead.
Now you've got Bayley who's come in.
Right.
Bayley and Becky have never had a true one-on-one feud.
This was their first true one-on-one. They've had tag team matches against each other, but never true one-on-one, which this was, which tore the house down. 100%. I agree with you. It was a great match.
I know we are hearing, and a lot of this is our own internal speculation within the group. We have had it suggested that you do a 3-woman ladder match for the title. at Evolution.
That's right. Because that would just take this title from here, where Lyra's built it to here.
Right. My issue with that, and I'm going to say this, and it would be a fantastic idea. My issue with that, you just had the Money in the Bank ladder match. Do you need to have another ladder match so close?
Yes. And I'll tell you why. Again, those three women, okay? The two, Becky and Bailey, bar none, are two of the best women in the division. We have Lyra, who's literally building her way up to being a superstar. Like, she's carrying that title with such prestige that she made the title what it is. And I get we just had Money in the Bank. I get that. But this title, you want to raise that prestige level, that little bit extra, you throw that shit above the ring and say, you three, have at her. Whoever ends up with it, winner take all, you are the Intercontinental Champion. And you have a phenomenal three-way ladder match. Like, you let these girls hit every spot that they can think of.
Right.
To elevate how important that title is to not only the three of them, but to the women, period.
Right.
And I don't care who you put it on, because I'm going to tell you right now, there is more women lined up in that locker room that are willing to sacrifice body, heart, and soul to get that title around their waist, because they have the understanding of what it means now.
Right.
So I think ladder match, let's do it.
Okay. I was going to suggest maybe in this situation, this is where you have to go to a steel cage.
I think if this doesn't solve that, hell yeah, let's go to a steel cage and have them just absolutely annihilate each other.
Right. Because
and then that ends it.
You've got to remember, I mean, you can go to the ladder match, but a triple threat match, there's still no countouts, no disqualifications. So you can add all of those elements in as well. So it's sort of a 6 of one, half dozen of the other, whichever way you want to approach it.
Whoa. What if we do a steel cage ladder match? Have that hanging from the middle of the steel cage.
How are you going to get
ladders in there?
How are you going to get the ladder inside the cage?
Hell in a Cell, bro. There's enough room to pull a ladder out.
Okay, but a cell and a cage are two completely different.
So I'm going to a cell. I'm changing it from a cage to a cell.
Okay, but then the cell has a roof on it.
That's fine. That's where you hang the belt, right in the middle.
Yeah, but then how do you get out of the cell to get onto the roof?
Yeah, they'll find a way. They'll find a way. Listen, Undertaker and Mankind did it. Edge and they've done it. Just the women.
I know they have.
The women will figure it out. Hi, Mama Bear. I'm not ignoring you. We were just really deep in a conversation.
Yes.
That match is going to end up. Yeah, we knew it ended up in disqualification. Unfortunately, now we have a three-way craziness going on for that title. So I like your idea of putting it on that pay-per-view. What's next?
Up next, we had a very, very impassioned promo from Peter Gunther Griffin.
Yeah.
He was all business when he stormed to the ring, got on the mic, cut his promo, and got out of there in less than 5 minutes.
Yeah, it was an epic in and out. Yeah. Isn't that when Goldberg had come out too and got right in his face? That was the week before, right?
Yes, Goldberg had the sit-down interview last week.
That was right. I liked Gunther on a mic is just as amazing as Gunther in the ring wrestling performing.
Right.
His mic game has definitely stepped up since he started.
Oh yeah.
because he's obviously more comfortable, understands the assignment that he needs to do when he does what he does. So there's not much you can say about this segment because it's Gunther on a mic shooting a promo.
Right.
Great. Loved it.
And then we had our main event, which again, masterclass, two, best friends going at it in the King of the Ring semifinal to see who would go on to Night of Champions.
To face
Cody Rhodes to face Randy Orton.
Yeah.
Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso.
Just mentioning that match, the hair is standing up on my arms and I have goosebumps, okay?
Right.
So we all know how good of friends these two gentlemen are. Like, they're super good friends. Now they did do the class act of they shook hands, acknowledged friendship, done right now. Friendship's on timeout. This is business.
Yep.
Phenomenal match, bro.
Right.
I couldn't tell you who was going to win. Who did you have picked that night?
I did have Cody winning.
Did you? I picked Jey.
Yeah. I actually fully expected. We went in there questioning, who's going to come out the heel in this match. And we saw
baby faces.
Yeah, we saw heel tendencies from both men.
Yes. You are correct. Dude, I'm going to tell you right now, it was my match of the night. Like a very close second was the women's match.
Okay.
But this match gave us the roller coaster. I mean, my emotions, I don't know about you, bro, how you were feeling, but I was doing this.
Right.
I didn't know who to cheer for because I like both guys.
Right.
I respect the hell out of both of them.
Yeah.
I honestly thought at one point Jey Uso had this wrapped up in a pretty little pink blue Hawaiian bow, and then out of nowhere, Cody hit that Cody cutter or whatever he calls it, and then hit it's not the
Crossroads.
Crossroads. And I just went, what just happened?
Right.
That is why it is my match of the night, because the emotion it brought, dude, I didn't know whether I was laughing, crying, cheering.
Right.
Like, I wanted to cheer for Cody when he won, but I wanted to cry for Jey because I really wanted Jey to win.
Right.
Like, how were you feeling through the whole thing?
I did too. And I mean, pardon the pun here, but I was at a crossroads the entire match. But, we sort of knew going into it, it was either going to be Cody and Randy at Night of Champions.
Yes.
Or it was going to be Jey and Sammy at Night of Champions.
And you know what? Both ways of looking at that match, whether it was Uso and Sammy or Cody and Randy, take my money. Either way you play this, take my money.
I did see the Cody Randy match from Night of Champions as they had that match open Night of Champions.
Yeah, they did, which was holy cow.
Right? For me, it was a little bit weird. I would have probably opened with Jade and Asuka.
Yes, I think I felt the same thing. I thought they were going to, because it's been really kind of a steady on Raw. They've been opening the night with the women. So I guess maybe it was just, okay, they're going to open with that match. I'm ready for it. And then they threw a curveball at us and was like, no. You're getting Randy and Cody.
Right. Mr. Best coming in saying Jey will still get a championship match at SummerSlam against Gunther.
I figure so.
I don't.
Something's going to happen.
I don't.
What if it's
I'd love to
Goldberg?
see it, but I don't think that's going to happen.
That's okay. Do
We are not really going to cover Night of Champions. We can sort of
No.
quickly. But tonight is
me get
going
some
to be
tonight.
very, very intriguing. Rhea Ripley to open the show based off of her street fight at Night of Champions.
Yeah, and her victory. Let's remember,
Yes.
she took a beating. So I'm expecting her ribs to be taped up because her ribs have been reported they are bruised from the kendo stick
Right.
shot she was taking. So expect her ribs to be bruised, or at least her holding them a little bit still, because that hurts.
Right.
How do you feel about that match, real quick? Like with her being hurt now.
I've seen bits and pieces of the match. I haven't seen the whole thing in its entirety.
Okay.
I did restart watching Night of Champions yesterday.
Okay.
Decided when I was watching it, I was tired and I'm like, this is pointless. Why am I staying up to try and watch? I'm going to bed.
Yeah.
Then I tossed and turned, so I got up at 3 a.m., came out, ate a bowl of cereal, and put the match back on. Went right back to bed.
Okay.
Do I think Rhea is going to call out Io? I think she will, but I think she is going to get interrupted. Whether it is Raquel and Roxanne or whether it's Asuka.
It's going to be, I think it's going to be our women's champion.
Okay.
Because if I do believe so, she is turning her sights back to that title, her baby. She wants her baby back.
Right.
So I think she's going to call out Io. Or not Io. Is it Io Sky is the one that has the title? Yeah.
Yes.
Sorry, I drew a blank. And that's when you're going to have the other women that have won. Like you might see Jade Cargill come out, or you might see somebody else come out and say, no, that's my title. I'm going after that title, not that one.
See, but Jade Cargill, because she is the queen of the ring, she gets the shot at the SmackDown women's.
Oh, that's right too. She's not on Raw, eh? I forgot. So you might get Asuka coming out and saying, "Hey, Io, remember me? Your old friend."
Remember last week there was that interesting little backstage segment.
Yeah.
When it was Asuka and Io in the back.
Yeah, I
and
forgot
Asuka
about
told
that.
her, "I will see you at SummerSlam."
So there you go. So she might come out tonight and say, "Hey, I may not have won the match to be queen of the ring, but I'm still here and I still want that match."
Yeah. So I could see this setting up Asuka versus Rhea.
Dude, do you know what I see happening? Do you remember how Io had been treated up until she won the title?
Yeah.
Do you see her doing that to go, no. You had your chance to Rhea and pie facing Rhea, just giving her a little bit of the attitude back?
No, I don't see that because you just had that triple threat match at Mania. We're not going to go that way again. And I do believe, that post SummerSlam, there is still currently slated to be a draft, and I believe that Rhea is being moved to SmackDown.
But I could see what I was trying to get at. You might not have, was her just kind of going, "No, you had your chance, go away," and her going to Asuka and saying, "Yes, you get your title shot," and just kind of pushing Rhea aside.
She could, but I think that, she knows she's got Rhea's number, so why would she want to say no?
No, you're right.
Because, then you've still got Kairi Sane who can factor into all of this. Or, of course, you could see Asuka interject herself in that situation with the women's Intercontinental title.
There's so many options now for the women. It's awesome.
Yes. Also today, and Mr. Best came in saying he's watching us having already known what happened, but he won't spoil it.
Thank you.
We get a World Tag Team Championship match as the New Day defend against the Judgment Day's Finn Balor and JD McDonough.
Okay. I'm going to ask you. You know it's going to be asked. Who is taking this title? Who's taking the titles?
I'm saying the gold goes back to Judgment Day.
You're thinking it's going to go back to Judgment Day?
I do.
I was going along the lines of the New Day is going to pull some kind of shenanigans and retain the titles.
Again, in this situation, you have two heel tag teams,
right,
facing each other. So it's which team can get dirtier. Judgment Day have the numbers advantage with
and the dirtiest guy in the
with-
game. They do. They have Dirty Dom.
They do. And you've got Roxanne and Raquel. This could be the start of, again, let's get all the gold back into Judgment Day and build ourselves back up. Instead of these cracks in the foundation, let's stabilize it.
So something to look forward to, because I think it's going to be the New Day that's going to get some kind of upper hand to retain the title. So we'll see.
Okay.
Who's right. So stay tuned, people, because when we're done here, that's where we're going.
Yes, yes. We do have Sami Zayn teaming with Penta tonight against Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed.
That could be interesting. Basically, two lucha guys against two big powerhouse guys.
Yes.
That could get very interesting.
It could. And again, I am going to go. Like last week, we saw Braun decimate Penta with that spear.
Oh, yeah.
And I am going to take Braun and Bronson to once again pick up the victory.
Okay.
But Karrion Kross is in Sami Zayn's head. Sami's turning.
Ooh. See, and I was going, Penta was going to get some revenge for that last week and get his win back from Braun Breaker. But I kind of like where you're going with that. That's kind of this is kind of that dark match that I like to call them, where you really don't know how it's going to play out because you're just not sure. So
Right.
I'm still going to stick with Sami and Penta. I have a feeling they're going to pull this one out.
Okay. We are going to hear from Gunther. Now, it says here in our list that Gunther will confront Goldberg. To my understanding, Goldberg is not scheduled to be at Raw tonight. This was the 1 week he was supposed to miss leading up to Saturday night's main event.
Yeah, you never know.
We are also going to hear from both Adam Pearce and Nick Aldis with some special Evolution 2 announcements.
Right on. Dude, I can't wait to hear what they got to say. Because the first Evolution that they did, phenomenal. And just knowing that it's going to be stepped up. Number 2's coming. Dude, I can't wait.
Right?
Can't
Now,
wait.
I love the concept of Evolution, and I'm thrilled for it. This, for me, is not a PLE that needs to happen annually, but I think this 7-year gap is too much. I think every 2 years would be fantastic.
2 to 3, I think, would be perfect. Give 2 to 3 years to develop some talent, and then showcase them.
Yes. Now, in these announcements, I am going to expect, of course, the Triple Threat Women's Intercontinental title match.
Okay, yep.
I'm going to expect a U.S. Championship match. I am going to expect a Battle Royal or a Rumble again to be announced.
Okay.
There is a report going around that a certain Torontonian is in Pittsburgh tonight as it relates to Evolution.
So maybe that person is going to have a match?
Perhaps.
I wouldn't be upset with it, to be honest.
Or perhaps she's going to be introduced as the host of Evolution.
I mean, not
Or
a
the
bad idea
hostess.
either. Yeah, the hostess. Yeah, you're correct. What else is happening tonight?
A collision of powerhouses. This is a match that is right up our alley. This is a match that is going to go no contest. It's going to go all over the place. Sheamus and Rusev.
Rusev. Gosh. I have a problem with this match, my friend. As you all know, I'm a very big fan of the man Sheamus. Given that I have heritage back on that side of the world. But I also am so ecstatic that Rusev is back on my screen, just decimating wrestler after wrestler after wrestler. And we both remember the last time these two guys met. It was,
Yes.
dude, they destroyed the place.
Believe it or not, this is only going to be Rusev's third match back.
Yeah, and he's already butting heads with the bully that beats up bullies.
Right.
Sheamus.
And a former tag team partner in the League of Nations.
Right, like these two guys know each other. So I think I'm going to agree with you. This is going to be, as good old JR would say, a slobber knocker. Like it's going to be a fight, bro.
Yes, I don't think that I'm even going to go out so far as to say this match before it even starts doesn't get started. This is going to start in the back. They're going to beat the snot out of each other.
Yeah.
And it's going to have to be held back until Saturday night's main event or SummerSlam.
So yeah, the best is saying it's been over a decade since Rusev and Sheamus have had a one-on-one match.
Yes.
So there's probably some pent up like anger and aggression towards each other that's going to come out tonight. And I think I'm going to agree with you. This is going to hit the fan before it even hits the ring.
For me, this is going to be that Bronson Reed, Braun Strowman type of scenario again.
Oh, dude, hands down. Yeah, you're not wrong. This is like their music isn't even going to hit. They're going to be like, oh, there's a ruckus going on behind blah, blah, blah. Get the cameras. And then all you're going to see is someone's going to go through a bin and everyone's going to jump in and they're going to stop what's going on. And either one or both the GMs are going to say Night of Champion, or not a Night of Champion, but Saturday night's main event or SummerSlam, blah, blah, blah. That's where it's going down. Stay away from each other or the match is canceled.
Yeah.
They're going to have to go that route of stay away from each other or else. Because
100.
if you don't, you're just going to keep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's what it's going to be. I don't think you're going to get that stay away from each other tonight. I think this is going to continue for at least, well, I mean, we're only at July tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'm going to say give it another 2 weeks, and then they're going to say, okay, no, you two have your match. Unless they go to Saturday night's main event and things don't get settled there, and then you can continue it on to SummerSlam.
Which, honestly, with these two guys, you're going to need more than one match.
Oh, absolutely.
With these guys. And you're going to have some ruckuses in the back, and things are going to proceed to a certain area to a certain time where the manager is going to say, if you guys don't stay away from each other, I'm just going to cancel your match.
Yep.
And then that's when they're going to stay away from, then they're going to come together, and that's going to be the big blow off because everything's going to hit the walls, the fans, the floor, you know what I mean? The roof. And it's going to be a slobber knocker of a match, blood everywhere, and that'll be the end of it.
Yes. All right. So I know we are running a little bit short on time, but I think it's time that we tell the people where they can see us and everything going on here with the Turnbuckle Affiliation Program.
Turnbuckle Studios and the Turnbuckle Affiliation Program bring you the week of streams. All times are in Eastern Time. Monday nights you get the Locker Room Breakdown at 7 p.m., followed by the Raw Patrol at 8 p.m. Tuesday brings you the flagship show, Turnbuckle Talk, at 8:05 p.m. Wednesday we play games with the PlayStation Showcase at 8 p.m. Thursday we got total non-stop action with Brace for Impact at 8 p.m. Friday we game again with Unleashed, the Jessica Wilde story at 7 p.m. Following the game, join us for the SmackDown Security Detail at 8 p.m. The weekend brings you Saturday Night Gaming at 8 p.m. On Sunday be sure to catch the Chris Parrish podcast at 12:15 p.m. followed by the Boar's Nest at 8 p.m. Be part of the shows and join the chat every day.
Yeah, buddy.
And now that you know where to see us each and every night of the week, on a programming note, I am going to be away for the next 3 weeks, ladies and gentlemen. So Bubba Duke will have the reins here at the Locker Room Breakdown.
Yep.
I'm going to be doing family obligations. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to, of course, being back. But while you're online and checking us out, also visit us at turnbucklestudios.org. If you want your break in content creation, podcasting, whether you want to help us behind the scenes or potentially collab, let us know. Send us an email to turnbucklestudios.org. There's a section where you can catch the latest episodes of all our programming. There's a section where you can meet the team, including the two of us, as well as Chris Parrish, Chris Best, and Carl Carafell. Bubba, where can the people find you?
Yeah, man. You guys can find me on YouTube at Bubba Duke Show, all one word. And over there on Twitch land, it is Boar's Nest with Bubba Duke. How about you, my friend? Where can we find you?
Well, before they find me, I want to give a shout out to the guy that keeps the ball rolling here at the LRB. And that is our friend, the Bulkster. And you can find him on YouTube and on TikTok, both at Bulkster Show. So, ladies and gentlemen, great guy, fantastic individual. He is the guy responsible for everything behind the scenes here for us. And ladies and gentlemen, if you are looking for me, you can find me at my Linktree, linktr.ee/OMD show. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, it has been an absolute pleasure to be with you here tonight. Jump on over to Turnbuckle Studios. Join Bubba Duke and myself for the Raw Patrol coming up at 8 p.m. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, the world is better with you in it. From all of us here at the Turnbuckle Affiliation Program and the Locker Room Breakdown, to those of you out there, wherever you are, good night, good luck.
Defy